Greetings and salutations, viewers. I'm StarPrincessHLC, and welcome to, hopefully, the very last episode of Cupid. I'm going to be spending a good chunk of this, probably cutting a lot, because I'm going to be trying to get the last ending. I have a walkthrough up, right up here. Just hopefully it will help me out. I might have to go back several chapters in order to get it. But at least I can skip dialogue I've already seen, so hopefully it won't be too long, so I'll catch up with you guys when I actually get to that point, so BRB. Okay, we're now on to a point where it's not skipping dialogue. Let's see if that's the case. Gimme woke up with the dream still fading from his memory. Everything seems to be similar to the same, and here he's not in his room but Catherine's. How'd he get here sleepwalking? Doesn't surprise him. Whoever cast a spell did not do so on a whim, and it's still not letting me skip, so this is new dialogue. A pure white candle flickered on the table, and its flame looked as though it was ready to go out. I couldn't save you. I tried. Rosa stepped out of the shadows. You! Kiyomi's anger subsided just a little. What is the meaning of this, Rosa? This is your doing? She looked at him with sadness. I was too weak to save you, Kiyomi. Save me from what? From what you are. Kiyomi's face crumbled into confused anger. I do not take kindly to people who dabble in my brain, Rosa. Especially when they have such audacity to do so when I am most vulnerable. Do you expect me to ask you forgiveness for what I've done, sire? Because I won't. I will stand by what I did. I will do it again if I can. But such a spell requires much preparation. You're not to do that again, do you hear me? I will not allow myself to be subjected to such mockery. It's not mockery. I'm trying to save you. I do not know what you're talking about. If you persist on this foolish behavior, then I will be forced to take action. Go ahead, but I will simply try again. Stop it. Kiyomi grabbed her shoulders in irritation and shook her. They stared at each other in heavy silence, and Kiyomi somewhat regretted his forcefulness. Rosa had grown stronger through the years, but she was still fragile, wasn't she? Maybe to him. Why was that? But Rosa's eye did not flinch or look away, even at his outburst. There was no fear or fragility in her eye at all. She held her gaze steady until it was Kiyomi who looked away. Why? Why are you doing this? I understand that you loved Catherine. I know you want her memory to live on, but... No, it's not because of that. Catherine's memory is already present in me. I already have her, but you don't. I wanted to give her to you, so you don't have to resort to feeding. Kiyomi recoiled from her like her skin was scalding to the touch. You! How did you? Rosa just stared at him, her eye clear and resolute. I know what you are because we are the same. We are creatures that emanate desire and feed on love. I have lived with this curse, knowing only a semblance of what I am. Mother guided me. She protected me. She taught me how to control it, even in her own twisted way. I was lucky, Kiyomi. I wasn't alone. But you were. Rosa's eye bloomed with sadness. I can only imagine how hard that must have been. Kiyomi staggered back in shock. So there was another one like him. A desperate hope clutched onto him like talons. Was that why he had taken to her so without wanting to feed on her? Rosa wiped tears from her face. That's why I am doing this, Kiyomi. I wanted to give you Catherine's memory, like how Mother's memory keeps me sustained. Love doesn't have to be taken like this. There are other ways. Kiyomi frowned indignantly. Don't you think I had tried that? You're still very young, I can tell. I've already endured centuries of this curse. I know the tricks to survive. From strangers to the villagers, I know how much I can take. I am meticulous. Then why must you insist on this method? With no reason to stand for ceremony, Kiyomi's face changed easily. Rosa's jaw clenched. She was talking to a stranger now. His face lost the virtue that once belonged to a blameless man. It was replaced by a curious cheeky grin, a perpetual look of childlike mischief. He was different, and yet somehow Rosa felt like she had known him for a lifetime. He had always been there, hadn't he? Or rather, it had always been him. Why? Because it is fun. and the taste is worlds better. The experience of drawing out love is unlike any human feeling. It is transcendent. It is the only moment I feel alive, the only moment I feel like a god. Once you've had a taste of it, nothing else compares. You must try it. I bet you can only afford to be self-righteous because you don't know any better. You're wrong. I did it to Catherine. I tasted her love, but I was able to stop myself in time. I knew it would destroy her. So that was you, It makes sense that Catherine's love for me waned. That never happened before. Desire can be controlled, Guillaume. I do not wish to control it. Why should I? Admit it, you've longed for that taste as your tongue dipped in its pot. Rosa did not speak. She shifted nervously on her feet. Guillaume went on. We are given this curse to endure, Rosa. Why must we scatter in the corner and humble ourselves? To whom do we abdicate ourselves to? To normal people? They are beneath us. For other achievements and talents, love is the only thing that can drive them mad. Don't you see? Their weakness is the only thing we feed on. It is the natural order. Guillaume stepped closer to her and touched her bare arm. He tried to hide his bliss. I told you before. If you need power, then be powerful. I'll teach you how to wield it. You still have much to learn. You will join me, Rosa. Just imagine what we can do. We will be powerful, you and I. Rosa's momentary confusion faded. The hard look dawned on her face once again. I will never join you. You use people for your gain. And so? Guillaume's voice couldn't keep from rising. What of it? Isn't it the rule of human existence? It's all a game. And it's a game I play to win. So people's lives are a game to you? Guillaume shrugged. Of course they are. The alternative is much worse. Humans don't play fair. Oh, humans don't play fair. They use and abuse and they throw away on whim. They destroy for no apparent reason except that they want to. I just get ahead. I can give them love, I can give them affection, but I will never give them pity. Rosa's eye narrowed at Guillaume. Didn't you once tell me not to think of myself as a victim, Guillaume? So why is that all you ever think of yourself as? Yeah, bit of a victim mentality going on. Guillaume's lips quivered. He tried to speak out, but no words came out. Rosa stared at him. Her eyes seemed to search for his answer beyond his silence. Naive, he shouted in his head. You do not know what you're talking about. But his throat dried up. Suddenly he felt inadequate in her gaze. Is that the reason? You tell yourself it's all right to throw people away. Then you've never had the courage to see their value. You don't believe your own lie, do you? Mother was tainted, but she still loved me and protected me the best she could. Even in her cruelty, she gave herself wholly. Let's just justify the fact that Bobby Dearest beat her and called her a whore and all this other stuff. Papa Francois was tainted, but he looked at me like a daughter and never touched me. Catherine. Rosa's tears made her voice quiver and break. She was tainted, caught between me and you. I wonder what that was like. And yet she never acted on desire, but on love. She was the safe place where two opposing forces meet. She loved you, Guillaume, and yet when you took her love, you left a lifetime of memories. You left her hope. The lack of love isn't what broke her, but this hope. She never stopped loving you. The woman, Catherine, may have thrown it away, but the child never did. You must know as much as I do, don't you? Rosa wiped her tears. I am tainted by you. I could hate you and curse you like any of your victims, but I chose not to, because of Catherine, because of Mother. I learned that love can be a blessing, something we can give rather than take. Love isn't your curse, Guillaume. This curse you wallow in was brought on by yourself. Guillaume took a hasty step back. Catherine's memory once again flooded his mind. The girl who gave him everything. In his greed, he forgot to ask why. Why did she give everything? He might have said it was only fair. But that had always been a lie, hadn't it? The girl who always chose to be loving instead of just loved. He had always kept a few pieces to himself. His concept of totality utterly foreign and terrifying to someone like him. The girl who was whole. Game clutched his chest. But it's painful. I don't want to. He said this petulantly like a child. I don't want to. I don't want to. It is painful, isn't it? But that is the real taste of love. Have you ever asked yourself why you stayed that long with her? Why you have delayed your feeding for so long? Why you cared for her until she died, even when you had no use for her anymore? Maybe you had started to love her beyond your needs, Guillaume. You can't fake sacrifice. You can't fake sacrifice, monsieur. You are a good man. Maybe you liked keeping this face. A different taste spread on Guillaume's tongue. It was salty with just the hint of sweetness, pure like seawater. Guillaume realized he tasted his own sadness. You know, tears. But it faded quickly from his numb mouth. He was so accustomed to pleasure that he scrambled to get her face back. It took all of his efforts to remember, to form the memories like a jigsaw puzzle in his mind. The stars, ribbons, the smell of burnt sugar, magpies. You'd marry me when I grow up, wouldn't you? Her hair, the wind, a touch of her fingers on his cheek. Every memory squeezed his heart, which he thought was long dead. It was the harder way. But a glimmer of understanding appeared. It was not enough to change him, but there was hope. The sickening taste he had been devouring was not love, only desire. He had put it in his mouth over and over again, convincing himself it was all there was. Perhaps to wash away the taste of what he really wanted. Was it too late for him? The cravings controlled him. He could feel them slither under his tongue. He was sick of them, but also reliant on them. They were most loyal. Guillaume looked up at Rosa. He was never strong. He knew that now. Rosa was. You. You are the one I seek. The one to save me from this wretchedness. And didn't you say you are tainted by me? Do you love me, Rosa? Please say you do. Please walk beside me. Guillaume stepped closer to her. I don't understand much, but I will try. Stay with me. You don't know how grateful I am to know I am not alone in enduring this. He reached out his hand to touch her, almost like a newborn reaching for the warmth of a mother. But Rosa shoved away his hand. There was a bitterness in her voice that stabbed through his heart. Why are you surprised to know I exist? Am I that easy to forget? Guillaume frowned. What are you talking about? You don't remember me at all, do you? You locked my memory away. You were content to forget. What you did to my mother was already unforgivable. But to erase her existence from your mind, I could hate you, father. Guillaume's chest tightened. What? But that's impossible. I was never able to. Rosa took out the locket that he had given her. The lock was open now, and a picture of a woman was inside. Guillaume couldn't remember her, but the woman's face stirred something buried deeply in his mind. Fire. Moonlight. He searched his memory for such a woman, but his mind came up blank. His head ached. I don't remember. Of course you don't. Isn't that how insignificant we were to you? She loved you. But to you, she was just another faceless woman, easy to throw away and forget. Even when you left, she kept me. Me, who was a constant reminder of her pain. Tell me now how meaningless this love is. Why did you leave her, father? Is it hard to keep something you broke? Guillaume's hand shook. He was barren, wasn't he? And yet, here she was, his child. He didn't know how that could have happened, but he clung to the belief desperately. He welcomed the regret. He savored this pain. How could he have forgotten the only child he sired? Rosa, my name is not Rosa. I lost my name a long time ago. Much like you have lost me in your memory. Tears fell from her eye. How could you drop me so easily? Am I not good enough? You didn't even look for me. Never even thought about me. She was sobbing now, like a child who wanted to understand the mysterious ways of her parents, but could not. Kiame's arms moved stiffly on their own. He held her in his arms as she cried, stroking her head to soothe her. I'm sorry. He still couldn't remember this woman he loved. Unlike his other victims, he must have stayed, hoping probably that things would improve. Hoping that the hundreds of shallow lovers he had before were somehow payment for one true love. If he stayed long enough, if he paced his feeding, he might not remember her, but he already knew what happened. Greed is the core of desire. I am not a monster, but why am I always hungry? I'm sorry, but you're right. You're here now, Rosa. Let me make it up to you. He held Rosa tightly in his arms. Maybe this is the love I need, the love of family. Rosa, you are my family. If we stay together, I don't need to use other people, you see? I'll try my best to learn from you. I will try to say it my dedication, or my diction, whatever it was I said. I don't know, it's a strange accent. This was the first time Kiame used that word. He winced at the grossness of it. His mouth salivated with disgust at its weight, but he swallowed it like a hard pill. He could change. He could. For her. Everything would be all right. Rosa was here now. Rosa was... I don't think you understand, Kiame. We cannot stay together. Why not? Kiame spat with the anger of a man with shattered hopes. Deep inside he knew why, but his loneliness pushed it away. Maybe this time it wouldn't turn out like the others. He tried to convince himself. She was his daughter. It might be different. It would be. He wished to change it with the force of will alone. Our curse will taint even this kind of love. I could feel it surge in me even now. It is slower than normal, but more potent and dangerous. And then what? Time will pass and you will degrade me into another lover's memory. You'll be doomed to repeat the same thing. You know this too, don't you? No. He held on to her stubbornly. No, please. I'm sure we'll find a way. I'll do whatever it takes. Rosa broke away from her father's embrace and stepped back from him. You can't make me stay like an object to satisfy you, father. I am doing this for you. If you do not want Catherine's memory, then I will leave you mine. My dearest father, I love you. I love how a child inexplicably loves their parent, without any conditions or any hope of return. You were given the chance to raise me, and I was able to make memories of you I will treasure. I want you to be happy. I want you to be free. You don't know how much it hurts me to do this, but you cannot depend on me for change. You must do it on your own. Please remember me like this. I hope you will change, knowing that it can be done. Rosa, please. Please stay. I beg you. Goodbye, father. May we meet again in better times. Rosa turned her back on him, and Kiame fell to his knees in despair. He stretched out his hand to reach for her, but she seemed too far away. Don't leave me! A final exhale breath, and the candle fizzled out. The first few rays of the dawn touched his face. He opened his eyes. Okay. Oh, there we go! Ending 1. Temperance. The hardest one in the game to get. I had to go through, like, every single chapter, skipping through dialogue and making sure that I got everything, because, like, you have to pretty much start at the very beginning and work your way down. Like, you have to be very specific about what you're putting. I mean, yeah, there's different, like, I guess, possible variations, but it seemed like this particular walkthrough worked the best. So, there you go. That's interesting. I'll let the credits roll out for this one, just because it's the very last ending and the hardest one in the game to get. I'll probably leave a link in the description below for the actual walkthrough if you want to get it yourself, because this was a hard one to get. Like I said, I went right back all the way to the very beginning of the game to make sure I got it. But, again, fortunately, it lets you skip dialogue you've already seen. And yeah, obviously this is a work of fiction. I'm pretty sure there's no actual lust demons out there, but thank you for making it. Alright, let's see here. Yep, there we go. That's the last one. I don't think there's any more bonuses, are there? No, it looks like I got everything. But yeah, I guess I should wrap up my thoughts on this since it was taking a while. Storyline-wise, obviously, with visual novels is always going to be the main focus. Like, that is a given. Like, this was an awesome storyline. It really did a lot in terms of what little it showed. It definitely got you interested. It definitely was emotionally gripping at times and funny. The art style was very pretty. The music is really nice as well. I could say, though, that the ending, to get the last ending, is definitely very difficult. Like, you have to be very precise on what you have to do. But it is interesting to see all these different endings. Seeing, like, how the characters progress and everything. So, I did really enjoy this. It was very nice, and it definitely made you think about a few things with love, if you think about it, because it's true. You can get into as many relationships as you want, be with whoever, but at the end of the day, a relationship is not going to make you whole. It's not going to make you entirely happy. You have to find your own happiness in the world. You have to be the one to find yourself first before you can truly love somebody else. And that's an important message to take away from this, I believe. So, overall, this was really entertaining. I still don't know what's up with this one picture in the corner where Game is clearly holding like a Phantom of the Opera kind of mask. Probably because he was playing double-edged on the whole thing. You know, kind of putting up a mask to hide his own insecurities. That's another thing to take away from this. Be yourself. Don't hide behind others, or hide behind what others expect of you. Be yourself. So, some interesting little things to take away from this, but overall I really enjoyed this, and it's free to play, so I've pretty much gone through the whole thing, but hopefully maybe some of you could check it out at some time as well. It's a really interesting little story, and I'm glad you guys were along for the ride. So, I guess I'll have to figure out another story to probably play, another visual novel. I'm sure there's plenty. I'm sure you guys have some suggestions down in the comments below. But for now, this is StarPrincessHLC saying thank you very much for watching, and have a fond farewell.